Hello and welcome to another episode of SoFly. This is episode 18. It's March 19th, 2018. This is coming out April 1st, so happy April. Hope Easter was good. Yeah.
I think we're currently in Easter. It's the second.
Right.
Yeah.
It came early this year.
Yeah.
Okay, rock and roll then. Happy Easter. And my name is Mitch, and joined again here, we got Yilma.
Hey, guys.
And Aldo,
Hi.
the newest addition to SoFly.
So
Cha-cha.
good to be here. Thanks for having me in the crew.
Yeah, welcome to SoFly. We've added Aldo onto the team. We're expanding. We're trying some new formulas out. Gab isn't gone. Gab is still very much SoFly.
I have not shot and killed Gab and taken his spot.
Gab is still bleeds blue. SoFly blue. He is still SoFly. We're gonna rotate the hosts, and sometimes it'll be, sometimes we'll get Aldo, sometimes Yilma, sometimes Gab, but it'll always be three of us. We can't bombard our guests with four of us. Jeez, that's just too much stuff, right?
But Gab is introducing his new news segment.
Yes, which is extremely exciting. What is that news segment called, I wonder? I think it's something along the lines of fly fishing news with Gab,
Something like that.
which is tight.
But this week we've got...
Yeah. Speaking of guests, we've got someone on the show that we've been trying to get on the show for a long time now, and finally we've been able to find a date. We've got Harry on the show. Harry from Drift. He's also Bronte Creek Custom Rods. Harry, how's it going?
It's good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Hello to everybody out there listening.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's glad. That's good to be here.
Rock and roll.
We had a little bit of trouble getting me in here, but
Well, we got you here now, and we're going to
now,
talk
yeah.
rods. Building rods.
we're gonna talk about rods. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on today, man. We'll talk all about rod building and stuff like that. Obviously, we don't know very much about it, so we'll talk all about that and all that, and your fishing season and all that stuff. But Aldo is out fishing today.
Yeah, I was fishing out today. I was on the Humber today. Really low water, guys. And despite the nice sunshine, it wasn't warm at all. Wasn't warm at all.
It was really cold today.
Yeah. Saw one guy hook and land a steelhead, but that was about it.
Was it a nice fish?
It was a nice fish. Yeah, it was a nice fish. It wasn't big, and you know what? He put it back.
Wow, you put it back.
He put it back, guys. That's
Wow.
right. Catch and release is alive and well on the Humber River.
Wow.
Didn't used to be
Great.
the
It
case.
didn't used to. I was actually
Used to
shocked
be.
that he.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Harry, where do you do most of your? Are you a Humber guy,
Um,
credit guy?
For years, I was a Humber guy. That's where I learned. That's where I got my first steelhead was actually on the Humber, right underneath the Bridge Road Mill.
That's where I was today.
That's where I also got my that's where you were today. That's where I got my first bass carp, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I used to live right in like 10 minutes from Eglinton and Scarlet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You got your first steelhead on the Humber?
yeah. Years ago, I was
That's awesome.
8, 9.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah, I've been steelheading for a while. Yeah.
8 or 9. How did you catch it? What was the first? Like, did you get it on a fly?
No, we actually back then, like I was just learning how to fish, like just period, how to fish. Took my Canadian Tire crappy rod down there, and
Yeah.
we were just bottom mounting. Like that's what everybody
Yeah,
else
yeah,
was doing
Right.
way back when. Bottom mounting with a fake egg thingy.
Yeah.
I think it was a yarn fly actually,
Oh, yeah.
if I remember correctly. And yeah,
How big was the fish?
I don't think it topped 4
30,
pounds.
40 pounds?
Yeah, 40.
It's pretty good. That's a big fish. Holy shit.
But I remember really well right after I landed that little guy, and I'm all excited. And this dude standing on the other side of the river, he got like a 10-pounder.
Oh, yeah.
He just put my fish to shame, you know?
Well, I mean, 7, what was it, 8, 9 years old? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was crazy back then. I didn't have waders.
Yeah.
It was too small to fit into waders at that point.
Yeah.
So like I would just, I think it was March or something. I just went across in shorts, like you can cross the little island there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just ran across in shorts, and guys were like, "You're crazy. You're gonna get sick."
You're going to get carried away.
Yeah.
Fuck
good.
you guys.
I'm
then
gonna
you
catch a
gotta-
steelhead. I'm 9 years old.
Right on.
When did you start fly fishing?
I think it was 2006.
Okay.
Was my first encounter with a fly rod. No, 2004.
Cool.
$40 Canadian Tire special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to fish for crappies. Black crappies. There used to be thousands of them in Centennial Park,
Yeah.
the pond in Centennial Park. And some big ones, like we got some like legitimate 2-pound fish out of there.
Are they still in there?
I don't know. Haven't been in years.
Where's Centennial Park?
It's,
Tobico.
yeah, it's typical.
That'd be fun on a fly rod.
It was.
Crappies? I've never caught a crappie.
Yeah, we said, really in Ottawa? Never.
Never, man. Like there were people would be like, "Yeah, go catch them here on the Rideau," and I would go and I would catch sunfish. They weren't crappie. I was like positive.
No, I understand. Yeah. But that's,
It's like Mitch, those were crappie.
I looked at pictures. I know it wasn't a crappie. That's cool.
Yeah.
Never
That's
caught
awesome.
one. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was good. There used to be that pond in Centennial Park used to be so good. We used to get like I've got pike out of there like that were 10 pounds.
No way.
No
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So we used to use bait, in the beginning.
Sure.
In the beginning before like
In the beginning.
I still use bait.
Yeah.
from a little bit here and there. Dad's
JK.
giving you the thumbs down.
JK.
I just played a laugh track on a thing. I'm so excited that I can do that stuff.
That's cool.
Okay, and then where do you live now?
So I now live in Burlington. I used to live in Oakville. I lived in Oakville for 10 years. So it was Toronto and then Oakville. And then 2 years ago, we moved to Burlington. But that's why Bronte Creek Custom Rods, 'cause I used to live about 5 minutes walking distance from Bronte Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I came up with the name.
Is that where you learned to fly fish?
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's a big part of why we moved to Oakville was Bronte Creek and was fishing.
Really?
Yeah, my parents have been very supportive of the whole fishing thing.
Yeah.
No, my parents used to go, like my dad and uncles and stuff. They used to fish in Pakistan. I was
Yeah.
born in Pakistan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
When did you guys move here?
I lived there till I was, I think, 7 and a half, 8.
And within 2 years of being here, you caught a steelhead.
Yeah. I think it was my
Better than me.
first week. It was my first weekend in Canada that we went to High Park and I got my first sunfish.
Awesome. That's
Nice.
wicked.
You're a born fisherman.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I mean, they took me.
You're a fish.
You are a fish.
You're a part
They
fish.
took me, my dad and my uncles and stuff. They took me when I was little. We fished in the ocean in Pakistan.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there was like no fishing rods. It was all hand line.
Cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
that
What were you
sounds
catching
nuts.
there?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you, Aldo. I think we got something called I'm almost sure it was bonefish, but we just called it mullet because like the guys don't. It looked just like a bonefish. We called it
Right,
mullet.
right.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Maybe you've hand lined a bonefish.
I don't think I've hand lined
I can't believe you
Jeez.
I don't remember.
I can't believe you were hand lining bonefish in
I don't
Pakistan.
remember catching
caught
much.
a 40-pound steelhead at 7 years old. You've hand-lined caught bonefish. Jesus.
Who are you?
Okay, so you move here, you learn how to fish on Bronte Creek.
Yeah.
Learn how to fly fish.
Learn how to fly fish, sorry, on
Yeah.
Bronte Creek. Do you still fish Bronte Creek a lot?
Not as much as I'd like
Yeah.
to. I used to fish like in the creek part, the actual flowing river part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess a few years in, I discovered there was another whole bottom end to it, which is like the pier. There's a harbor and a pier and stuff.
Yeah.
And my fishing gravitated down there.
Yeah.
You know, there still is fantastic pike, trout, bass, carp, really good carp fishing, all down in this like stagnant water
Yeah.
in the harbor. It's almost better than fishing the creek. So I fish down there a lot, but I do fish from time to time in Bronte Creek.
Okay, wait. Before we get into that stuff, we have to talk about a couple things.
Yeah.
Firstly, what we're drinking. We're all sitting around. We're all drinking beers.
Yeah, we haven't touched base on that.
We
We haven't
haven't
touched
touched base
on
on
what we're
what we're
drinking.
But this time we've got Muskoka Brewery. A couple different types going on. Aldo?
Yeah, I mean, we've got, you're drinking the lager, which,
It's awesome.
yeah, the Muskoka Craft Lager, super tasty. And I'm having the Detour, which is their like session IPA. So IPAs usually are a higher percentage, but this one, sits at a nice like 4%. So you can drink a few during the day and
Lovely.
in a 355 milliliter can.
I like that.
I'm not a tall boy.
I don't like tall boys either.
I'm not a tall boy guy.
I'll drink
So
it.
this works fine for me.
They stay
time to
cold,
time.
They stay nice and fresh
Yeah.
longer. Yilma's got a tall boy going on. Yilma,
I do.
what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Hometown Brew Co.
Hometown Brew Co.
Can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah.
All right. I'm drinking Hometown Brew Co.
Nice.
It is a Southern ale.
Southern.
It's a tall boy. I like tall boys because I'm tall. Skinny,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Fair enough.
it just looks
I'm
like
not.
me.
I'm
I get it.
short. I'm really short.
Yeah, I'm like Aldo. I'm vertically challenged. Like Aldo.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm always jealous of like tall people when they're like waiting and they can like get like Chris. I was fishing with Chris today. Like, sucks, man. Sucks being
like,
5'6" and trying to wade in some places. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the problem was when we went fishing a couple times ago at fuck, what was it? Well, we were fishing the Grand, and
Oh, yeah.
the water was really high, and we all almost died. And me especially because I'm so short, I almost got sucked away in the current.
Yeah,
And it was
these guys almost died, and you definitely died.
dude, oh my god, it was one of the. I think we talked about it on the show, but it was terrifying. But there you go, a height problem right there, and a width problem. I have a bit of
Yeah.
a width problem too. Tend to be wider. You turn, it's like a sail,
That happens to me
Gone.
too. That happens to me. Too.
right?
You guys ever gone under? Anybody?
I've been to
Once.
Australia once or twice.
Hey, wait. We got a laugh track. Oh my god. Christ. I've gone underwater twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
No?
Yeah.
What about you?
Nope.
Wait, really?
Never?
I fell. I fell, but I
Just
didn't
safe.
go under.
Yeah. What happened there?
I was just trying to make it home before it got dark.
Hmm.
It was basically running through Bronny Creek.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't see. Couldn't believe it. I didn't see a giant boulder.
Yeah.
And I went to step over it, and I hit the how like the curved edge. I hit the curved side of the boulder.
Doof.
Were you with people?
No, I was by myself.
You're crazy, man.
I was yeah, but it was shallow. It was like maybe 2 feet deep. Like it wasn't.
No, it's
Oh,
not bad.
Oh, you're
Yeah, that whole creek is the deepest part. Is like maybe 5 feet deep. So
I went under on the Grand when I caught my first steelhead.
yeah.
Yeah, because the fish, it jumped when I was holding it, boom, and it knocked me over, and I fell into the water.
Oh, it was like after you had landed the fish.
Yeah, I had it in my hands, and it was freaking out.
So it wasn't like the
Never,
Brad Pitt moment in
No.
the. No, okay.
The fish was in my hands, and it was stronger than I was, and it knocked me over, and I lost my balance and the fish.
I've never
Sounds like a
actually
pretty good
landed a
fish.
steelhead in the Grand. Not gonna lie, I've never actually landed a steelhead in the Grand.
No, next fall,
Well, spring.
the spring too. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
You know when
Yeah,
it opens,
this
there's
spring.
there's like 3 weeks of it where they're all coming back down from Whiteman's,
Yeah.
and they go crazy when they get to that like murky water in Caledonia.
yeah,
Yeah.
They just go AWOL because they're the fastest thing in the water at that point.
yeah,
So it's fun.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I mean, I've hooked a couple.
yeah,
I've had lots of grabs, pokes, and you know how Caledonia is,
yeah.
but just never landed one yet.
There's a lot of weird fish in there,
There is.
Yeah.
like besides steelhead. You know,
That's a nice stretch of river for sure.
I love it.
I like that stretch.
We fished. So we fished last weekend at the golf course and also the Arendelle, and it was really nice. Like apart from it being packed, which is just the nature of it because it's time of year and you can't blame people. Like,
Well,
you know.
it's in Mississauga, right?
It's in Mississauga.
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of an urban
extremely
center.
accessible.
There's easy access.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was great though.
And you can I mean, I know guys that have had, 10, 15 fish days right in the park.
It's crazy. I didn't know Arendelle was like that. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was like that.
It's a
Gab
really-
was telling me for years,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I was like,
That's where I think
Whatever.
I do probably the majority of my steelheading.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an
Yeah,
awesome.
Like I'll get out, obviously you'll get out, maybe do a day trip to like
yeah.
the Big Head or,
Yeah.
or whatever. But the majority of my fishing is a couple hours and
Yeah.
Well,
it's so
amazing.
close. It's
It
so
is.
close.
It's so close.
Yeah. And there's a
like I
lot
said,
of
there's
20 minutes
fish in
away.
there.
The
There's a
golf
lot of fish
course
in there.
is weird though.
I think it's so beautiful.
It's really, really nice.
Oh, man.
It's
It is.
beautiful. It's
It's so
really like I love it. But when you think about what it is, you're fishing on a golf course.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird to anyone else? It blows my mind. I'm just not used to it. It feels kind of like fishing on Mars or something.
I don't know. I never
Maybe that's what
gave it a
makes it beautiful.
second thought.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, just always kind of fish there.
That's just me, I guess.
I spend a lot of time at the Credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 25 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some of the nicest runs that I've fished in Ontario. Beautiful straight swings, and the runs of fish. They're,
Yeah.
when they're pushing through, like 2 weeks ago or last week, when they're coming through, I had rod customers. They did 20 fish weekends. Like my one buddy did 35 between Friday and Sunday.
No way.
Must be so cool. Like, do you so? I mean, obviously, you must have a pretty good relationship with your. I guess we'll get into the rod building soon,
Yeah,
but
we'll
like
get
with
there.
like you have do you have people just being like, "Oh, Harry, I was using the rod you built me," and all
Oh
that?
yeah, all the time. Oh yeah, I've guys that like I built their first rod ever. Super hesitant to get it done. We talked about 15 different aspects: guides, cork, money, what they want to spend, what they didn't, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then he finally, took the plunge, got it done, took it out. It was a Friday I delivered it. The Saturday he took it out. He got his first fish on it.
That's awesome.
And he's like thrilled. He sent me a picture right away. He's like, look, I got a fish on the rod you built me, blah, blah, blah. It's my first one.
That's so cool.
It's so much better than the old rod I used to have. Yeah,
That's cool.
That's the value. That's the real value of building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice when people see the things I build for them and they appreciate that. Like, it took whatever 20 hours of my life to put it together.
Yeah,
That's
for
always nice.
sure. That's cool.
Well, that's a nice segue. I mean, like, how the hell did you get into that? Are you like naturally an industrial designer by trade, or did you just
Not really, no.
You're not an industrial designer?
Do I look like one?
Yeah, you kind of.
No. Actually, I went to school for fish and wildlife technology. For the longest time, I wanted to be an aquatic biology professor.
Whoa.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
That's-
cool.
That was the plan. That was the initial plan going in. So, I've always been one of those people that kind of was like mechanically inclined. Like I could build stuff.
Yeah, you just get it.
Yeah. Like I started tying my own flies when I was, I don't even remember, 2004, 2005. Same thing. Same kind of when I took up fly fishing.
yeah.
It's just always been a thing. And then, but I went to school for something not completely unrelated, but like pretty unrelated.
Doctor,
The
medicine,
goal was to be
a lawyer.
the goal was to do my master's and then my PhD and all that stuff.
Of course.
I did my 2 years in college out of the 3-year program, and I was like, you know what? When I get out of this, there's going to be no jobs, or I'll have to move, or I'll work shitty contracts. The big thing I didn't want to do was work contract jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you got to weasel your way in
To full time.
to full time. So instead of that, I was like, and at that point, it had already been kind of as a hobby building rods for people for like 4 years or 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that? I know I'm taking you on a side thing, but what made you decide, hey, I want to start building fly fishing rods for people?
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video. I don't know what I was up late one night or something and just browsing through YouTube. And I saw this YouTube video. It was like a 10-part series or 9-part series or something where the guy builds a 9-foot 6-weight.
Cool.
Just shows you all the steps, It's like you can, and then in the video, like I explained, like you can buy kits where they just have like the actual bare rod blank, a grip, a reel seat, and some guides and stuff, and thread and whatever. And I thought, you know what, that doesn't seem too far different from tying flies.
Right.
So I built a 9-foot 4-weight. I still have it.
You still use it?
Oh yeah. I caught tons of fish with it. It's been good. I went on eBay. I bought a cheap, like I think the whole thing that ran me $50.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
how long did it take you that first one?
I think I took my time. I think it maybe took me 3 weeks.
Okay.
I built it in like January or something. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just power through it.
didn't really power through it, but at that point, I was actually in the part where between high school and college, where I was like 2 years where I was kind of unemployed. Yeah, I did a bunch of, for years I did like general labor stuff, all kinds of crap. In that time, I built a rod, and then it went decently well, but I was like, you know what, there's some stuff I could improve on, so I decided to do a second one.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was more into float fishing than I was, more into center pin than I was fly fishing.
Yeah.
So I built a 12-foot center pin rod.
Okay.
And that's kind of what started it. I took my rod out to Bronte. And one of the local guys that fishes there all the time, one of the retired guys, he saw it and he was like, oh, listen, I got this old rod. Would you mind doing some like restoration work on it? And I kind of was, I was hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I just built this one. Like I built 2 rods in my whole life. And he's like, don't worry, I trust you. Go ahead. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I took it home. I rebuilt. He needed new guides. So I put some new guides on. Brought it back to him about a month later or whatever. And somebody else that was there saw it and gave me a rod of theirs. It was like, do you mind redoing mine? Like, I like the way you did the other guys. And then from there, it's kind of all of a blur. It just kind of grew.
Yeah.
It's
just a blur.
It's just a blur. Like now I'm here.
Guides and
Yeah.
line wrapping and
Crazy shit's going on.
And then the drugs started and the partying, and it's just, you do the fucking
And then the
nuts.
cork dust started flying.
That's really cool. So it happened pretty organically then.
Yeah, it was just I never intended it for it to be a job. I never intended it for like,
You started building rods kind of just on
just
a whim.
as a thing. I don't even like on a whim. I guess I decided I'm gonna try my hand at this.
But it's graphite, right? It's only.
Yeah, for now.
Sorry to cut you off, Aldo.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I was actually gonna kind of ask the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for now it's graphite.
Graphite.
I have a couple of friends who have started tinkering with bamboo. One of my, not sort of goals, but it's one of my like, I guess dream type build things is to build hollow built bamboo spay rods.
Hollow build.
Yeah, like
So it's just like the outside.
yeah, so it's hollowed. There's a process where you remove a lot of the inside. You know how like traditional bamboo rods are six solid strips, right? So you hollow out a lot of that stuff. It makes the rod lighter. You get better energy transfer through the blank
It's crazy.
Without losing any.
without losing anything. It actually makes them stronger. So believe it or not, it makes them stronger.
Some trigonometry thing.
I don't know how it works. I think it's the fact that it's circular as opposed to being solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
That better power
That
transfer.
makes sense.
Ever do glass? Did you ever work with glass?
I've done. I think I've done one or two glass. I got a couple of glass blanks in my house
Okay.
right now.
So at a time, how many rods are you working on, or how many like projects do you have on the go? Like, is it kind of like you work on one, or do you have like like how does it work?
All right. Well, like I said, I try to build one at a time.
Right.
Quality has always been, okay, maybe not always, but it's been for the last little while anyway. It's been my main focus. But right now, I think I have maybe 25 or 30 different fishing rods in a lineup waiting.
Are you finding it's more float guys, or just the whole thing? Float, fly.
Float guys basically they keep the money flowing.
Right.
They allow me to do this as a job.
They just like buying a lot of rods, or you just have a lot of float guys?
I just have a lot. It's now both. It's kind of like a mix of a number of customers, but then each guy will have like I have guys that have 6 rods. And from me in the last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they every time they pick one up, they drop off 1 or 2 or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I will say that. I'll say that.
Do you find that like most people are like coming with you like, oh, I've got this blank, could you, or do you take them throughout the whole process, like choosing a blank, choosing the cork, choosing
I've done both. I built a Sage X for somebody a little while ago in past spring.
Cool.
And I had to walk him through. I gave him all the options. He came to me and said, "Oh, I just bought this really expensive float reel, something called a Clough."
What's that? It's like a brand.
It's the
a
name
German
of
brand.
the guy who made it. I don't know what makes it so great and famous, but there's only about 100 of those reels,
Wow.
and going rates between about 3,500 and
Holy shit.
up to like 5,500 a piece.
It's costly.
Yeah.
Yeah, float guys, they're not like fly guys. They're not like us greasy fly fishermen who were pinching pennies at every. They put some
They
serious
care about
dough.
You know what? I got
Behind
both.
their kid.
I
Yeah.
deal with both on a regular basis. I'll have guys that are more budget oriented. They're like, look, my wife will
Yeah.
only let me spend this much, or my girlfriend, or whatever the case may be. And then I have guys that are like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Right.
Just give me the best of everything. And we get both of those at the shop too. We get guys
Definitely,
that'll
yeah.
come in and
So so you were talking about glass and you're talking about bamboo.
Yeah.
Glass. You haven't built any glass rods.
I've
yet?
done a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer to fish with glass.
Yeah. Oh, you prefer to fish with glass.
Yeah, I prefer to fish with slower rods. My favorite rod's an old Sage Circa.
Yeah.
It basically, it's a 5-weight, but it fishes like a 3-weight. I like rods that when you hook a fish, it bends right into the cork.
Yeah.
That's how I work. I don't know. Even my float rods, I like rods where it's what they call a very progressive bend. It bends right into the cork when you hook a fish.
Yeah.
Or when you're spay casting, for example. My favorite spay rod is my Legend Ultra, my St. Croix Legend Ultra.
Yeah.
It's just because when I'm casting, when I do my T-loop, the thing is like bent in a backwards U. It's loaded right into the cork.
Whoa.
Personal preference, right?
Yeah, I got that.
But I like, yeah, so I've done a couple of glass. But yeah, mainly graphite. A lot of graphite.
So I'm in the market for a 10 weight. You know, ballpark, a nice 10 weight. What's a good size? What's a good length?
Like a 9 foot.
9 foot.
9 foot, 9 foot 10
10
weight
weight,
for
it's kinda
pike.
like-
Yeah, so like a nice pike rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I think, and this is kind of brings me to what I was going to say was I think a big part of why I build so much float stuff is because of all the good fly rods out there. You know,
Oh, like okay.
you can go in the drift, of course, support your small local fly shop
Yeah, for sure.
Or your local rod builder.
Or your local
rod
rod builder.
builder.
Because it's not just about technical stuff. Like when it comes to rods, especially if you're getting a custom made rod, there's something more like unique.
That's a big part of why
Right.
I'm able to do what I do is because the stuff I build is completely unique.
Yeah.
You know, it's tailored to the person. I think I have, like I said, I have the 20 or 30 rods that I'm working on right now. No two have the same handle placement. All the reel seats are in different places.
Yeah.
I have one
That's
of the things
cool.
I do is I'll oversize or undersize the handle itself. You know,
Based on the person's.
based on the person's hands.
So that's amazing. Like, Yelma, you should get a rod from,
Yeah,
from
that's,
here.
that's great insight. Yeah, no,
He was a
seriously.
10 weight.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have guys that come to me. Like, so I have a customer of mine. Actually hooked 18 fish today. He told me. He sent me pictures.
Come on.
I'm not even kidding. I'll show you pictures later. So
He hooked 18 fish.
he
today?
hooked 18 fish today.
Well, we don't need to talk about that.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
So he came to me. He
He's a pinner, right?
This is why we're
Yeah,
interviewing.
Oh, okay. That's why-
Pin, guys. Let's so pin.
he's
So
one.
pin, not so fly.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
We gotta transform him into
I didn't bring
soul
that up,
pinning in the winter for sure.
For the record, that was all though. But anyways, besides the point. So he had 3 fractures in his left hand.
Okay.
Left-handed, so he holds his rod with his left hand. So he has 3 fractures in his wrist here, and he can't hold anything over an inch. It's just blistering pain. He can't do it. So he came to me last year and he said, "Is it possible for you to make the cork thin?" So I made all of it super thin. Conversely, myself, I got these long ass digits,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, like Yelma. And
big ass hands.
for years I had really thin grips, and they gave me really bad carpal tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's true.
Whoa, yeah.
yeah, because you're constricting, you're squeezing this the
Yeah.
whole time. Your fingers, yeah, it just gave me real bad carpal tunnel. So
Yeah.
for myself, if you were to look at my personal rods, the grips are thicker. So that's being able to make unique shit
Yeah.
is a big part of why. And then the aesthetics of it. The last part is, like
100%.
it's
Yeah,
don't
some of
say
the reel
mainly,
seats
but yeah, that's
you've made and stuff that I've looked at is amazing.
Yeah, I've looked at,
amazing.
I've seen some like of the handles you've done and stuff, and it's awesome. It's unreal, like the cork textures and stuff. It's really cool.
yeah. I think I work with
Do you have an Instagram handle?
sure
What's that?
Ron D. Creek Custom Rods.
Oh, okay.
It's all one word, no spaces.
So we've got a new segment on the show that we want to do
Still
with
innovative.
Gab. It's we don't have a name for it, so we're gonna call
Fly
it.
Fishing News with Gab.
Oh my
That's
god!
the name of it. I declare.
Gab, it sounds amazing. We're gonna do this. We're gonna try to do it every show.
Yeah.
Gab's gonna basically just highlight for a few minutes some news stuff going on. We'll talk about it a little bit and hold on. I gotta intro it with some stuff. So
Okay.
let me just find like a good thing.
As a material witness on an aggravated
No,
battery.
that doesn't make any sense. Let me try this one.
Fly Fishing News with Gab. I have ripped my pants.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Oh wait, I think I got a thing. I think I got a thing.
You know what? I'm not a judge.
Okay, Yelma. I think I got a thing.
Just do like like those CBC like.
Oh, I got one. Yeah, I got one. I got one. News. Fly. Do the thing.
Okay.
Fly fishing news with Gab.
Welcome to Fly Fishing News with Gab.
Oh, amazing.
Wait,
So
no, do
good.
it again because I was.
Oh, okay. Take 2. Okay, ready?
Sorry.
Jeez, guys.
Ready?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, ready?
All right. Welcome to Fly Fishing News with Gab.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's my news section now. My news, or my new section about news.
You should do it in French.
I will not do it in French. even if I don't speak English very well. So yeah, the only guy that doesn't speak English doing the news. So last week, very, very sad. Lefty Kreh has passed
Yeah.
on March 14 at the age 93 years old.
93.
93.
Wow.
He lived a
That's
good
a
life.
good run.
Celebrate
This
his life.
man lived a very good life.
That's a long life.
And I'm just going to highlight some of his... well, his real name, Bernard Victor Kreh, if you guys didn't know. And Lefty was his name because he was a left-handed. I guess back in the days, being left-handed was...
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
yeah, it was not good, right? Like you
Yeah,
had to,
if you could cast
like if you go to
left-handed,
nun school, they would like whip you until you change. Yeah, so he invented fly patterns. One of the most common was the deceiver. Everyone has used it, even if you
Oh, yeah.
never. I've fly fished the salt once without success.
it's a great bass fly.
But like bass fly,
Probably one of the best bass flies of all time.
Lefty Kreh. So he has influenced fly fishing community for 50 years, 60 years. How many books do you think he has written? Do you know? Quiz.
I don't know.
How many books has Lefty Kreh written? Over 30.
It's a lot of books.
That's a lot of
books.
That's a lot of books.
It's more books than I read.
Yeah, he was an editor and countless magazine articles. He was an editor for magazines, newspaper, and I didn't know that, but I should. But he was a photographer as well, a pretty accomplished photographer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was a legend, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, like for us, like we're in fly fishing, but we're also creatives. And this guy was just that, right? He was like a creative writer. He was a photographer, so it kind of like make a path for us to do those podcasts. And
He was an influencer.
yeah,
He influenced us.
He was an influencer way before
Yeah,
that.
way before we
Stupid
coined it.
word existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, rip Lefty Kreh. So he had a good life. All right. So Harry, he might be able to talk to us about that, but Patagonia has came out with a new waders, packable waders, the middle fork packable waders. You guys have it at the shop, right?
We do. I think we got 3 or 4 sizes, or a bunch of the sizes.
Yeah, I think they don't really have women's size. I think in those ones, it's just like small, tall,
They're-
and regular.
Yeah, they're kind of what we refer to as like non-male specific waders. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll fit anybody.
So yeah, they're classic fabric. They use the H2NO fabric, pretty light. I
They're-
think it packs into like
They
something
pack
that's-
into like something the size of the mic, maybe slightly bigger than that.
Yeah, that's
They're
pretty
great,
awesome.
yeah.
Like, cause like, nowadays, fly fishing, it's not just like you drive down to the river. Like some people like if you're in California, you climb
Yeah.
the Sierra Mountains, or
A lot of
here in
people,
Canada for us, the Temagami, man, that'd be good to have for canoe camping. you know?
Yeah, don't
Pack
take up a
light.
whole lot of weight.
Yeah, and the rubber shoes, right?
Yeah,
not
they are.
neoprene.
They're not neoprene.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard feedback about anybody who's had actual like hard use on them yet.
I think they're
They're fairly
came out
new.
like this winter.
We've had them for
so
maybe I think less than a month now.
if you fish winter, you wouldn't really.
They're
use
probably not.
that.
Yeah, knob waders. You probably don't want them in the winter.
Yeah,
but,
super minimalist idea, kind of like the live simply kind of
Yeah,
mojo of Patagonia.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. And I got some Mike Borger kind of news. You guys remember when we talked about we talked about Mike Borger because someone has filed a what's that name again? Oh yeah, the Freedom of Information Act.
Yes.
Oh,
To know about his fishing spot because he released a video on YouTube about giant brook trout in Algonquin Park.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, I will not tell you. And
It was Algonquin Park?
it was in Algonquin Park.
Oh, it was
yeah.
a lake in
No
Algonquin
kidding.
It
Park.
was a secret lake in Algonquin Park. And then some guy filed a Freedom of Information Act. I think it was like last year. And they said no. They reached out to Mike. They're like, what we do? I said, well, don't tell him. And then he has filed an appeal So it's fighting in court, almost basically fighting
What?
over knowing a fishing spot.
That's crazy.
Must have been a big bro
Isn't
trout.
it? Yeah.
That's what I-
I'm trying to
bro
get some
trout.
info from Mike. I called him today, but maybe next podcast I'll have more.
So you
development.
called him today. Any answer?
No. I left a message, but he told me to call him.
Rock and roll.
So we will get some info. But on the CBC website, CBC is the radio, the newscasting of Canada. For our American friend, maybe they might not know
And New
who
Zealand
CBC
and New
is.
Zealand friends.
And New Zealand.
Australian.
Worldwide friend. CBC is our
a good point.
nationwide newscast. And not just news, but whatever.
Canadian Broadcast Corporation.
Yeah, that's it. CBC.
State
State
funded.
funded.
Our taxes.
Well, yeah. Filed my taxes this weekend. Paid a lot. So hopefully CBC release really great content
I hope so.
with our tax money.
Can't wait.
So yeah. And Mike, because he's a good sport, will not say who has made
That is a good
those
sport.
demand.
Yeah,
It is a
it's a
very
good
good sport. I'm not very nice. I would totally say.
Well, you're
that
trying to
is.
find out who it is
And I will.
because Gab is our in-house news journalist.
Yes,
Fly fishing
I'm a
journalist.
investigative fly fishing journalist,
Ah,
self-proclaimed. Yes, you can laugh. It sounds as ridiculous as it really is.
No, it's great. New LinkedIn title.
Yeah, in my new LinkedIn title. That's
I
right.
knew like this.
And yeah, because Mike says he wouldn't say who that is because if we would know, we would be falling off our chairs. It would be big. So it is a fly fishing. Not a fly fishing. I mean, the fly fishers are cool. We wouldn't do that. And I think that's my new sections for this time.
This is
Fly fishing news with Gab. that was awful. I fucked up so bad.
here. So, Harry, we're talking a little bit about technical stuff when it comes to fly rods. In terms of just like grips and stuff like that. What about when it comes to I don't know if you call it artistry, the craft behind it? Like
Craft
what's,
is
I refer to it as, I guess, as aesthetics.
okay.
The more, I guess, yeah.
What kind of stuff does that entail?
Um,
Aesthetics.
a lot of it's got to do with like color. I've done stuff where they had a purple reel. So I built the rod, everything purple. I mean, the wood was purple. There was,
That is cool.
yeah, I should have mentioned. I work with a lot of what we call stabilized wood, which is sometimes it's dyed different colors.
Okay.
It's usually my best seller is like different dyed woods.
Right.
Blue, red, purple, green, whatever have you. Sometimes there's 2 different colors. Black and orange is one of my good ones. Black and blue, stuff like that. So, like I said, I was
And
saying,
just to clarify, you're talking about the real.
I'm talking about just the real seed, the little piece of the little 2-inch piece of wood
Yeah.
that goes.
What kind of wood do you use for that usually?
Oh, geez, I probably have about 200 different.
Oh,
Holy
Woods?
Nikes, man. That's a lot of wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over the years, I've been collecting a pretty insane inventory of stuff. I dye some stuff at home. I getting super nerdy with it. Is like I've looked into how to dye and how to do some of that stuff. So I've dyed some stuff myself.
you've already been doing that?
Oh yeah, I've been doing that for years now.
Oh, crazy. Sorry, can I get a year total on how long you've been building rods for?
What's this? This is 2018.
It's 2018.
I
It's the
started
future.
when it was what, 2010?
Okay. 8 years.
8-ish, 9-ish years, something like that.
Sweet.
I did a couple of years worth of work for a different store where I made just all of their reel seats for their own, like their custom. They have a custom builder. I just made all the reel seats.
Yeah. That's cool.
Do you still do that a little bit? Like build parts for people who assemble their
I
own
do.
rods?
I will
Yeah?
build parts for people who want to assemble their own stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Even like,
Oh, that's really,
Really
cool.
cool.
yeah,
that's
I'll
really
even
cool.
like, I've even done stuff where I'll make the whole handle,
Yeah.
right, and then send it off in pieces, and they glue it all up together.
Huh.
So you're the first person I've met with this skill, right? So have you been approached by anybody? You know, how often? As far as someone like Sage coming up to you and be like, hey, we would love. I mean, they're probably like mass produced, right? But like, has any other company approached you for your skill set?
No, not really. But I've got a couple of friends who've been doing this a lot longer than me. One of my friends has been doing this for about 40 years, and he actually designed a couple of rods for a company. You guys have heard of Okuma, right?
Yeah.
Okuma. He
From,
designed.
Goku and Akuma, Street Fighter. Right?
Oh yeah.
Street Fighter was a
right?
fun game.
Yeah.
It was a fun game.
Back to fishing.
Tight reference though.
Back to fishing. Yeah, so he was approached by Okuma. They asked him to redesign one of the rods that didn't go so well the first time.
Okay.
One of my other friends did all the designs, and he built the prototypes also for something called Kingpin. You guys ever heard of Kingpin reels?
Yeah.
Yep.
He did their float rod series.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't yet, but I mean, a lot of people look at me at my age and they're like, "You don't know anything," and then don't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Comes with age, I guess.
Sure.
Or whatever.
So you've talked a little bit about bamboo. Is that something you want to get into? Like
It's something that down the road I would like to do, basically only bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like there's a couple of like people that I really respect and really look up to is Bob Clay and there's another one's James Reed.
Yeah.
Those guys, like, I know they got full-time jobs obviously, but like they kind of just build only bamboo. They only do space stuff for the most part. They do
Yeah.
a bunch of single-hand stuff too, but like Clay only does single bamboo stuff, two-handed. And that's kind of what I would want to do, like live in a shack in the middle of nowhere in BC or something, and then just build bamboo fly rods.
Oh wow.
And fish for steelhead.
And fish for steelhead. Because
That'd be awesome.
Steelhead. Yeah, it's just, but there's a huge whole completely different learning curve to it,
Okay.
you know. But
Yeah, for sure. With bamboo, well, that's triangles and working with wood instead of
yeah,
fiberglass
and
planks.
it's really not as tricky as people make it because of the internet. Really, a big part of
Right,
it.
you can learn to.
You can learn stuff quick. There's a gathering, I call it the Gathering, where every 2 years,
Yeah.
basically anybody in bamboo in Ontario, they all meet up in Fergus somewhere.
Mhm.
And they all, for 2 days, they come in, they shoot the shit, and they talk about bamboo.
It's just called The Gathering.
It's called.
And you have to wear like cloaks and.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
they
what
were.
I'm thinking.
but yeah, to my knowledge, it's called Bamboo Rod Builders Gathering or something. But they just call it the Gathering.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
it's
There's a bunch of guys who played a lot of Magic in high school.
it's very Illuminati.
A little bit
Yeah,
ominous,
yeah.
but at the same time,
you been to The Gathering?
The bamboo.
I hear.
will
You know what? I
speak.
heard it's really cool. I wanted to go this year, but I was actually in the shop working. I was covering for Rob or something.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go. It's not next year; it's the year after.
That's
Yeah,
really
It'll be in
cool.
2019. I'm gonna go in 2019.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Yilma was talking about getting a 10 weight earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah. You were.
for pike.
How would you go about assessing a good rod for Yilma? Like, how do you go about deciding how the rod?
We'd start with what do you have now? What is your casting stroke, and then from there we'll find you a blank that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I have an 8-weight and my casting stroke.
Yeah, like what kind of rods do you like to fish? Are you?
Well, I mean, I'm
super-
3 years in, so I'm still learning. I tried the
Okay.
glass with Chris the other day.
Yeah.
Or not the other day, last summer, and I didn't think I don't think it suited me as yet. Maybe
Yeah.
when I get a little bit better in terms of casting.
What's the
But-
rod you fish with?
Well, the 8-weight's the Echo, right? And then it's the Fenwick in the summer in spring for trout.
And you like those?
Fenwick's amazing, yeah.
And Fenwick is a.
6.5 or something.
What, the world class? Or?
I can't remember.
I think it's a
Yeah.
faster
Yeah.
action. Faster
Yeah.
action.
What
Me, I'm-
echo? What echo do you have?
I can't remember.
With boost?
Maybe
I think it's a boost.
it's
Yeah.
a boost. Yeah, I think
Because
so.
those are
Okay.
pretty quick.
Yeah. So
it's quick.
the
It's
boost
quick.
is-
Yeah.
Do you like quick rod?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well,
there
now
you
I
go.
do because
There
I'm
you go.
starting to get my.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. There
Okay.
you go.
So we found
your
our
So we
stroke
find out
is
what you like.
He likes
Yeah.
fast action rods.
I
Fast
like your
action.
fast action.
Fast
rods.
action
A lot of people like fast action rods. They're kind of becoming the standard.
You like slow action rods, you said.
I like selection rods.
You ever fish bamboo?
I have once. I didn't know enough about it at that time. Somebody handed me there. I was fishing the Grand River one time. Somebody handed me there. I was like, "Here, try this for a couple of casts."
Yeah.
I'm definitely like a medium fast kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my. I have one fiberglass rod,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's I like a medium fast rod for sure. So there we go, Kid Safe. Step one, we've found out the
Find out
stroke.
what kind of stuff. So now you can kind of narrow down, like, okay, some of the Sage stuff would be better suited for you. They make faster action rods. Even a couple of the Hardys or the Loop. But actually, not so much a Thomas and Thomas.
Really?
Not so much. Why is
Yeah.
that?
Thomas makes, I wouldn't say, they're still considered fast action rods, but what I like to describe them to people is that they're more mellow. They're not as quick as the Sage, but they're kind of a very weird, tricky kind of thing. Really hard to describe because they're so unique, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd be better suited with something like a Loop if you like a faster action rod.
And then would we like? I mean, you say you want it for pike, but you would probably want to use it in the salt or be able to anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's what that's the
Yeah.
advice that I got.
Yeah,
So
you might
wait,
as well.
would
I mean,
you be able to build me one? Because that's where I'm kind of taking this, or is this?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'd be able to build you one, no problem.
Because that's where I'm kind of trying to push it.
So you buy.
I got you.
You buy a loop.
This is shopping with Yilma right now. We had news with Gab earlier.
New
This is-
segment. Yilma's new segment. Shopping with Yilma.
Yeah, I'd definitely be able to build you one.
Do you buy just like you'll go buy the loop blank and then you'll just go from there?
Yeah, or we can get,
Oh, I see.
you go down to Drift, pick out a loop that you like,
yeah.
provided they make it in a blank, the guys will order it for you, and then when it comes,
But then you can get all the custom stuff.
then you get all then we get into,
that's the
now that
benefit.
we have the blank picked out, like in a night, okay, this is what I like as far as action.
Yeah.
Then we go into like purely just the aesthetic stuff.
and also kind of use the usability because you were saying you got really long fingers, right?
I got
So
long
you could
fingers.
change the
And
grip.
sometimes, and to all those points, sometimes I get a little bit of, I don't know if it's carpal tunnel, but
But you'll get like fatigue and strain.
yeah, or
right
carpet
in the
tunnel,
knuckles.
whatever it's called. Yeah.
It was right here in the knuckles for me, really bad. This was when I was in high school. I'd skip class to fish 8 hours, but you feel it either way when you're,
Badass.
when you're using it.
It's a badass reason.
It's a badass thing.
I think I've grown up.
I skipped
you know,
class to eat pizza.
Me too. Didn't work out so well. Fishing's a better.
It is what it is. It didn't work out that well either. So
I think it's working out pretty well.
You're on the So Fly fishing podcast.
oh yeah,
But yeah, when it comes to actual like,
work part time at Drift Outfitters was working out really good.
yeah, hell yeah.
That's how we met.
That's right.
Hey, you guys been adrift, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, remember the first time
That's
Aldo
what-
came in?
Yeah.
I don't think I was working there yet. You were a customer.
I would come in as a customer.
But right before you left for your trip.
Yeah. I was,
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
No, it was good. You know what?
No, it was great, and we actually Harry and I got to go fishing a bunch last summer, and which is awesome because I love nymphing and Harry loves dry flies, and that was cool. But anyway, going back to Yilma's rod here.
Yeah. So
We've got the blank picked out. We know aesthetics is going to be a thing that we want to look at.
he said something about purple earlier. So
Yeah,
I'm
We need a reel.
I
a
like
10-way
I like
reel.
unique looking things, colorful looking things. You know, it could be my Caribbean side, it could be my artistic side, whatever. I just like flashy.
yeah.
Yeah. Why not have fun with it?
Oh, I'm gonna have fun
what kind
with
of what are you thinking here?
it. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
What
for
could he
real
like?
seed.
I mean, if he's making a saltwater rated
Fly
rod,
Blue.
you wouldn't use
SoFly
wood.
Blue.
Actually, so I can use wood.
Okay.
Remember how I was talking about earlier about I work with something called stabilized wood?
Okay. Yeah.
It's basically, so you can take any piece of wood and it's infused, it's impregnated 100% with an acrylic resin. So it looks like wood, it feels like wood, but actually, as far as like the composition is concerned, it's plastic.
Oh.
So if you
Crazy.
take it to the salt, where salt would corrode a traditional wood, so in some cases, this stuff is, because it's plastic, it just holds up great.
That's fucking rad.
So you can have a purple reel seat
Ooh.
that'll last, that'll last out in the salt.
Okay.
Purple thread wraps.
Purple thread wraps. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, but yeah, even actually, I don't think I have a purple, but I've got all the other colors like blue, green, red cork as well.
Okay. Maybe
So-
show me what you got, and then I'll.
Yeah, and like that's where the best way I tell everybody is the best way to do it is to come into the shop,
Yeah. Let's chat.
come into my workshop, pick out a piece that you like as far as like the reel seat goes,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about some aesthetics as far as handles go.
Yeah, because it's true. When I do fish in the winter, I'm always wearing gloves, right? And therefore, it's a lot thicker and more comfortable.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
It's not
right,
as,
right.
you know, I don't feel the line as much as I would
Yeah,
like to.
so with the thicker grips, you'll lose sensitivity. Right, the feel gets muffled because of all the extra material.
But right, there should be some sort of happy medium we can work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we'll think about it.
That's super cool.
Cool.
but yeah, man.
What kind of
That
rod-
easy, folks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What rods do you like building most? Like
Rods do I
if somebody like, is it like someone like Yilma? You're like, oh, nice, I get to go from scratch, or is it like I love building spey rods, or is it I love building single handers, or I love building, or does it matter?
I don't know if it matters. It used to matter a lot. I used to be when I first building a few rods. I used to love doing what we call rebuilds.
Okay.
It's a big part of what I do is people will bring me a rod that's already built, and they say, look, I don't like it. It doesn't suit me. Can you take it apart? Take off all the guides,
That's crazy. That's like a
take
lot
off
of
the
work.
handles and stuff.
That is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the things that over the years, is a big part of what makes me unique is that I specialize in rebuilds.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I do probably, if I build 40 rods in a year, 15 to 20 of them are rebuilt. It's a lot of older model discontinued stuff.
It's like you're pimp my rod with.
Yeah, it's basically like Pimp My Rod.
Pimp My
actually.
Rod, man. Like,
I've actually already seen that movie once.
I think that could be a cool social segment. We could do Pimp My Rod.
Pimp my rod.
But yeah, that's the thing that I really like doing. I don't know why, but it's just
That's pretty sick. I like that. That'd be fun.
yeah.
Well, that's cool because you can give like after a while, cork, degrades, and you can give a second life to your favorite rod.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I've done stuff that was, not to point anybody out, but I've taken stuff apart that was maybe not so well put together. There's a couple other builders out there, right?
Yeah.
Another builder would have built it, and the guy who ended up buying it was completely unimpressed, and they were like, you know what? I hate it. It wasn't what I asked for. It's too flashy, or it's not flashy enough, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Can you take it apart and redo it? But it's still one of the things that I like doing the most. I think is, to answer your question there, Olo, is rebuilds. I like doing rebuilds.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
And repairs, you say you do too.
From time to time, I'll do repairs.
Like my rods.
Like all those rods. Yeah, I did a repair on your rod. I remember that.
Because I've got
Like a
one of my
boost or
favorite
something.
TFO rods. It's an 8-weight TFO rod that I like. It's an awesome rod, but it cracked. One of the guides cracked, like right at the ferrule.
Yeah,
So if you could fix that, it'd be amazing.
I could probably do that.
Look at that. One podcast, 2 new customers. It's amazing.
You know what? That's kind of how it's built, though.
Yeah.
Just even in the shop, like talking to people about something completely unrelated, and they'll be like, "Hey, listen, I happen to have a whatever the case may be they were out," and then that's like all I was saying. It kind of happened organically,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Is that how you want to keep it? You want to keep it kind of like that kind of thing, or like? I mean, I don't
I'm more than like
I don't know where rod building can really go aside from getting hired by a larger company.
yeah,
but
Or getting huge, because like if you look at companies like there's a net builder out in BC called he makes Rushton nets.
yeah, I've heard of them.
He's
yeah.
like a wood, beautiful nets, and it's like I guess he started in BC, probably pretty small, and now he sold. At least when I worked at Float Paddle Fly way back, his rods were in the store. We carried, his nets. We
Yeah.
carried 3 of his nets, and they were really great. They sold for like $200-300 a pop.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing quality. So you could like right.
Yeah, I could. The I guess the ceiling in it is like
Yeah.
As much as you
getting
yourself can
getting
produce,
hired
right?
as a designer or something
Oh, true.
for a company.
Oh,
right?
that true. Yeah. Well, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, really, I don't do anything like I work on other people's stuff. Right, I work on Sage blanks and Thomas and whatever else. So like, I don't have blanks per se that are my own. I say this because there's a couple of guys I know in the States. They have their own blanks.
Really.
Yeah, like they have their own. It's fiberglass. A lot of it's fiberglass. So you can buy unidirectional glass. They sell it. You can buy it. And so those guys have their own blanks. Got their name on them. And yeah,
Bronte custom blanks.
That's
Bronte
cool.
Creek, yeah.
Bronte Creek custom blanks.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
And then you can get really crazy with the you can. I mean, you're literally making a rod built to however you want it.
Yeah. But that's like the ceiling, right? That's something that
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do. I don't want to go that far.
Mhm.
I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the growth that I've experienced and where I'm at as far as like volume goes.
Right.
You know, it allows me to, get a lot of work done or a good amount of work done in a year, but it's still all unique, custom built,
Yeah.
one at a time.
Which is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, like he's modded one of my rods and repaired a few other ones, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's great knowing you have like someone you can count on. You know?
Especially when when you know the service you're getting is like
Yeah.
one at a time attention.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool if you could fish with a rod that is built by you, that's got your own that's got the buyer's like specifications, and it's like their own aesthetic. That's like, it's the reason we tie our own flies.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's,
And also, it's like one of those things that, like, I mean, like I know for myself, like in my fly fishing life, it's probably something I'm not going to do myself.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's a little bit more. I think. Is it easier than I think it is?
It's a lot easier than you think
Okay.
it is. Because I was talking back when Rob and I first kind of got chatting about it. We wanted to do like a weekend course.
Oh,
Yeah, because you can.
that's a good idea.
That'd
Like
be
I said,
really cool.
I remember I said you can buy them in kits, right? Where all you got to do is
Yeah.
assemble the stuff.
Right.
That's what I did with the 3-weight.
Yeah. And so we'd bring in whatever 4 or 5 kits. Whatever, $70, let's say, for a course or something.
Yep.
You pay for the materials. And then 5 people max or 6 people max or something. And then we build them. We'll
Dude,
build them
hell
over
yeah.
the course of 2 days.
Hell yeah.
You know?
I know people would be down for that.
Come in
I would
like
be down for
$75 for the course. You walk out of it with your own 9-foot 5-weight
Yeah.
or 9-foot 6-weight or whatever.
That's pretty rad. Do you just have like 1,000 rods at home that you built yourself?
God no. But it looks like that some days. I have. I've got
How many rods do you have?
at
you've
home
built?
That you fish? That you
that I
actively
fish. I actually only have 3 rods that I fish.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, 4 rods. Okay, 4 rods.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Okay, fine.
okay, Sam.
7.
I own a lot. I own a few more than that.
Yeah.
Just, of course, it comes with it comes with the territory. But I fish an 8 foot 9 inch 5-weight Sage Circa,
Yeah.
11 foot 7-weight Thomas and Thomas DNA,
11
foot 7-weight. That's the switch rod.
I love Tom's rods.
They're really nice.
They've got a 10-foot 2-inch 2-weight coming out. That
Oh yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
Daddy wants.
That's nuts.
I can see
But yeah,
why.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
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 Then I've got a 13 foot 7/8 weight St. Croix Legend Ultra, Legend Elite,
Yeah.
one of the old ones. I bought that thing used for $200, and I still think it's some of the best money I ever spent.
Nice.
Yeah.
I freaking love that rod.
Yeah.
And then I've got a float rod.
Well, I started spay casting this year, and one of the first times
Yeah,
I
you
went out
did?
was with
This year?
Harry.
Yeah, one of the first times we went out.
Yeah. But you had this cool 10-foot.
Oh, yeah, that
spay
thing.
rod
Right,
For the
that
credit,
thing.
which was awesome because in some spots of the credit for people who haven't fished it, it gets kind of tight,
Yeah.
but not so tight that you wouldn't need it.
Yeah, it's
the
kind of
power of a
weird
spay cast. Yeah.
as far as size goes. That river, where there's places where you can do it with a single hander,
yeah.
but it's just big enough that you can do it comfortably.
Yeah.
With a spay rod, and just easier with a spay rod.
What was it, a 10-foot 6?
It's actually a Thomas and Thomas Helix, one of their old blanks, and it's a 10-foot 8-weight, 10-foot 8-weight that I built into a 10-foot. It translates roughly into about a 6-weight 2-hander.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
that's the 5th one, but I kind of retired it after I got the DNA
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
It's like the last I.
That was a rad little. That was a cool little thing.
But it was.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I built it years ago. It was one of my older rods.
Yeah.
It was just so specific for around here.
But it was
like,
I
oh,
built
it's
it exactly for the credit
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
it's short enough, and the main reason I built it is short enough that I can take it underneath all of the bridges all the way down.
Oh yeah.
So it'll spay cast. I cast a 45-foot head on it. I cast a Rio short head spay on it, and underneath all the bridges, so you never have to really get out and pick up your swing downstream of the bridge. You just work right through it.
Yeah.
which is
A rod for a specific river.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's getting back to like the why people come to me. That's why I can do stuff like that.
Yeah. Specific stuff.
Genius.
Tailored
So you
made.
can get your pike rod for
Get your initials on there.
the Toronto Islands.
Yeah,
The Toronto Island pike.
I've done
pike
people's
rod.
initials. I've done people's names.
Fly logo.
I did
SoFly
song lyrics. Somebody I asked SoFly logo. Somebody
Song
asked me.
lyrics?
Somebody
What song?
knows.
What song?
It was
Something about a truck.
No, it was Drake's "I Need a One Dance."
Oh my god, that's sick! That's so much cooler than I thought. I was
know.
like, Tragically Hip for sure.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Oh, you would have thought,
I thought it was something
right?
about a truck in a farmer's field. I could have sworn. But that's
That's my
amazing.
truck. That's awesome.
Harry, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
No worries, guys. I'm happy to do it.
Is there anything else? Parting words? Anything you
yeah,
would
like
leave
what?
to say?
What do you want?
I would love it if it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't perceived as something so difficult, because it's not.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it's cheap. It takes you deeper into what you're already something you're already hopefully passionate about.
Yeah.
Which is, there you go, Gab. Yeah, like, you know, for 5 hours, 10 hours of your time and maybe $50, $70, something like that. Not that big an investment. You can have something that you build and you can go catch fish with. So
That sounds pretty
I'd
good
love
to
to
me.
see more people try it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hell yeah. And you got rid of your website, but you've got an Instagram channel. What's the handle?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Actually, even Google search it. It's going pretty big now. It's Brandy Creek Custom Rods.
Awesome.
Brownie
Doesn't
Creek
even
Custom
need-
Rods.
We'll post a link somewhere. We'll tag you.
That's all good.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much again for coming on the show. It was great.
Thanks, guys.
That's it for me, Mitch. Yelma,
Bye, Harry. Oh, and people.
Bye, Elma and people.
Aldo.
Bye, Harry and people and internet.
And internet, yes, and internet.
Goodbye, the internet.
Peace.